Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome back to the channel. So we are going to be looking at Redshire today, and this is an interesting game because I hadn't played the game in maybe 8 days, right? It's been a long time. Like when you're seeing this video, that's how long I've gone from the last video since like the last time I've played this game. And I'm getting into a few games where you're just rusty, right? You're gonna be rusty. You're getting, it's almost like getting reacquainted with how to use your brain, if I could say that, because when you play this game, sometimes when you go from playing other games where you can just kind of sit there, like I'm playing on my PS5 and blah, 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 but then you get into World of Tanks and you play light tanks and it's like you have to focus. You have to be looking at the map, you have to be looking at the game, you have to be understanding what's going to come in the next 5 minutes of the game, right? So here I am looking at the even 90. I'm seeing how we have nobody here on the west side of the map, and these are the things I mean, right? You really have to analyze, you have to assess. I'm a very analytical person, and I think that might be why I enjoy playing light tanks. But anyway, guys, we're on Redshire, we're in the Hawk 30, and this vehicle is very, very good at brawling, I want to say. I'm careful the way I say that because obviously your mediums and heavy tanks are going to be your brawling tanks and even some of your tank destroyers. But what I mean by that is this vehicle is a tier 8 and it does 240 damage with the APCRs per shot, and the HEs do 320. And the pen on the HEs, keep this in mind, is 102 millimeters of penetration. So pretty much anything that has less than like 70, like 75 millimeters of armor, because you know how the 20% or 25% works, plus 25%, negative 25% whenever you, it's the RNG, right, for penetration and for damage. So anything that's like 75 millimeters of armor or less, you're going to pen with the HE like automatically. That means any light tanks, a lot of medium tanks. So it's very easy for me to be able to, basically punish this even 90 if he wants to come over and try and get aggressive here. The issue is there's no support here. So I'm explaining this to you now so that you see kind of what happens later on, and you'll see that I'm now trying to basically run away because the T10 is sitting here and I know he'll have an angle on me, and then you have the 1390 and the even 90 here. And where are my guys? We have a T69 here, but he's being held down by the T10. We have a Boar here, but he's probably not really going to be able to help me that much because he's also sort of being held down by people in the back here, and he's not in the best location. So here 1390 comes over, and I'm telling you, it was a phenomenal decision that for me to get out of there, right? Because if I didn't, then I'd be getting pummeled by the 1390, and then perhaps the Leopard PTA would also come over, the even 90 would come over, and there's just too many people here with limited support from my team. So I actually decided to completely run away, because what my team has done here, and this may sound like I'm trying to camp in the back and farm damage or whatever however you want to look at it, whatever you want to call it, but the reality of this situation is that we have nobody playing this middle area, and we've also lost up to the F line here. So this is something important that I want you guys to look at if you're maybe new to the game, or your map awareness is not great. Maybe you only play like heavies and stuff. This is really informative to see as a light tank, right? As a light tank player, because you're assessing the map, right? And you can see the 274A is trying to push up, yes, but we just have nobody. We have nobody covering like the E line and stuff like that. We have nobody to be able to support me if I were to go after the 1390 perhaps. There is, maybe this object right here might have a shot going at people like right here, maybe, and maybe up to like this area of the map where the 1390 is right now, but you don't really want to count on that, right? The Boar is also down here. He's coming back now. Maybe if there were a couple tank destroyers sitting over here, which on the map is like this little area, they would have the render range. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying here. There's no support, right? So I'm going to take a shot at the 1390, and I'm going to sit back here and kind of wait for these guys to push, because there's no point in me being where the Leo PTA and the 1390 is up here trying to brawl these guys when I don't have the support. Nobody has the right angles. The Waffle can kind of support here, but I'm telling you, the way the terrain works over here, and even before, he was sitting back here as I was coming back, right? the way the terrain works here, you just don't have clean shots going this way because there's like a lighthouse little thing here or whatever. There's another building, and then this ridge line, the way it kind of works, you don't have clean shots. So you can see the boar is pushing in here, trying to, I guess, clean up the even 90 or whatever it was, the AMX 1390, and it's just a bad decision, right? Because he's gonna end up getting pummeled by the Leo PTA, and the T10 has the crossfire, the T69 has the crossfire if he has the proper angle there. And you just don't want to do this. So hopefully I've explained this enough to you, and you guys, maybe this helps you with Redshire. But I want to emphasize the reason that I'm almost camping in the back, right? Because someone in the chat will eventually say as well, like, LTs, you guys are awful, love our scouts, and I know he's being sarcastic. But I explained to him, like, I said, dude, like, we don't have the angles, you know? Like, I like to, I feel like people think maybe I'm toxic in the chat. Who knows, man? They have the angles in the west, G-Sword, nothing we can do. So what I'm just trying to be nice and explain to him, like, dude, there's really nothing we can do. Because see how the G-Sword just got, like, deleted here? Like, you know, so I have to, even in these videos, explain to you guys why I'm making all the plays I'm making, because we just don't have the angles here, right? We gave up this whole middle spot of the map, and you can't just go running up over this ridge line and expect to have a long game, right? Like your game's going to end right then and there. So hopefully that makes sense. We eliminate the T10 here with, I believe it was a heat round or a well-placed APCR round, and we're kind of doing okay here, right? The game is, it could be a 50-50. We're up by HP, but the tanks are about the same. And I'm seeing that they're starting to kind of win the East over here. So now I'm going to get creative and try to get up here so I can spot something, right? Because I don't want to sit in the back the whole game. Eventually it gets to a point where when you're camping, like, you can only camp for so long and still be an effective member of your team, right? Like, that's not going to get you very far just sitting in the back of the map doing nothing. Eventually people are going to press in and you're gonna have a problem. So before that happens, I want to get up here, but notice how I'm not just running up over this ridge line, because I know the threats that are behind the ridge line, right? So I'm going to try and come up here and see maybe if I can spot someone, spot the Leo, spot the 1390, spot someone making a move, and I'm able to get a shot on the Borisk over on the east side of the map. So I'm lit here. That would tell me it's likely the boar that didn't spot me here. It's probably someone else in this area, could have even been the Karn or whatever. But I'm spotted from maybe this area of the map. And I pretty much knew I was already going to get spotted taking that shot, only because these people, there's no reason for them to retreat right now, right? The boar is the only threat over here. And there's no reason for them to give up this portion of the map. So you could have someone 1390 sitting here, wherever. You could be anywhere, right? And even though this ridge line kind of helps me, I mean, this guy could easily spot me if I'm going to shoot my gun, right? Just the way the game mechanics work. So T57 Heavy is now being pressed by the Foch. I'm realizing that the Foch is full HP, and I'm like, holy crap, this is not good. So I'm going to try and focus the 1390 here because I see him in the mid. So I'm going to take this shot, clean him up, and that's good because even though he only had 9 HP, I tell you guys this all the time, even a tank with 1 HP still can damage you all the same, right? They still have a gun. The 1390 is a big threat because he has a 4-round magazine, and that's very dangerous. So we eliminate him from the game. Star 1 is full HP too. The Foch is now like half HP, so I'm going to run back. I'm hoping that maybe I can relight the Foch B for the FV4005. So I'm going to get kind of aggressive here and try and do one of these active passes. In my Hawk 30, man, I got like 40-something% concealment, so I should be good to be able to light this guy. But the problem is the FV4005 is in this corner, and he doesn't really have the shot until the Foch gets like right here, right? So I'm gonna try and take another shot at this guy. I miss, and at this point it's 10-10. We're still up like by 3,000 HP according to the map, but it's possible that this is incorrect because a lot of these people have been out of my render range. Keep that in mind. So when people are out of your render range, you might not see the correct numbers here. It all depends on where people are on the map. But I'm going to now push up because remember, the Borisk was a one-shot to me, if you remember when I took that last shot. So now I'm going to start pushing up to the east, and hopefully you guys can also see why I'm bringing you this video, because there's a lot going on, and I feel like it's there's a lot you can learn from this video. Even myself, like, I'm rusty playing this game. Keep that in mind, guys. I haven't played in over a week when I played this game, and I was pretty rusty, and I'm going around, driving around all over the place, trying to figure out what I want to do. But at this point, I'm thinking, okay, boar is here, waffle's here, let me try and get a different angle. I'll try and go for the boar, but now the boar ends up over here in the mid. So I'm going to try and focus this guy. I have the HE loaded, and I put it right there, and it just misses him. I try and lead the shot a lot because the HE rounds have, what, 755 meters a second of shell velocity. And yeah, I just missed it there. I shouldn't have led it quite as much. If I didn't and was able to clean up that Borsk, maybe this game would have had a different outcome. But that's what happened, and then both of these guys died over here, and now it's just my 2 tank destroyers, right? And everyone is, you know, well, not everybody, but the T10 is complaining that, you know, it's my fault, and I said, you know, always the light tank's fault. And I'm typing very quick, so I spelled fault wrong, but, you know. But I'm running back, and I see the G-Source full HP. FV is pretty close to full HP. I'm like, we could still win this. But now these guys have been hugging the red line for the whole game, and it would have been nice to maybe have the G-Soar try and push up the west side of the map earlier. But some people just like to play very, very defensively, guys, and it's what we have, right? This is what I have to work with. So I'm now going to try and support these guys in any way I can. Where this gets really tricky and where you think I might have made a better play is to possibly come here or something like that. I think this G-Sword eliminates the board. There we go. So now G-Sword is down to half HP. We have the Sta 1, the Karn, and the Leo PTA. But I was going to say to you guys, you could expect me maybe to come up to here. The problem, I'm just going to pause and explain this. The problem with coming up to here now is I have no idea where the Sta 1 is, and I also didn't really know where this guy was before he pushed into the G-Soar. So if I come up here now and these guys are sitting like back on this ridge line, it's easy shots for them, right? You're more exposed here than you think you are, so I don't want to take this position. I could maybe try and come to the mid a little further into one of these ditches. Like, there's other plays I can make here, absolutely, but I decided to play very defensively and stay very close to these tank destroyers because I really don't know. It's kind of a question mark. And see, here's the Sta 1 right here. So I'm going to try and focus, and I guess I was going to try and take a shot at the Sta, but the gun depression wasn't really there. So I'm going to sit here, see if I can get him to poke one time. I'll probably light him, even if he's, you know, going through this bush. And I actually light him here. So I poke up, I hit one into him, making him a one-shot, right? For me or the FV, obviously is a one-shot to the FV. So I make him a one-shot, right? But everything over here is basically a question mark, guys, right? This whole area of the map, I don't know because I was over in this area and I didn't know where these guys were. So as you can see, Sta 1 appears here. If I went out here, can you imagine the crossfire these guys would have into me? And I still have full HP, yes, but this wouldn't have been a good play. So now I'm kind of sitting here with the FV 4005 and I'm wondering what the heck I can do to try and spot for this guy to try and help. The Sta 1 is a one-shot, and I'm like, why don't I just go after the Sta 1? I'm kind of waiting to see who else is going to push. Maybe the Leo is going to push in up here or something, or the Karn's going to push in, and I can spot for the FV, because I only have to spot one person one time for the FV 4005 because he'll absolutely delete anything that comes after us, right? So I'm like, screw it, man. I'm just going to go after the Sta 1. Let me take a shot or whatever. And then the Leo PTA appears. So immediately I take a shot at the Leo PTA. I kind of slide away from him so that he can't ram me. Then the Karn hits me, right? I clean up the Sta 1. Leo PTA hits me again. And then Leo PTA hits me again. And remember, I was full HP, guys. I was full HP. So I'm thinking I can go after these guys, or at least after the Sta 1. Leo PTA appears. Karn is sitting back in here, right? So there's the Karn. So would it have been a better decision for me to perhaps just sit there with the FV 4005? Because again, you're at a minute and a half, right? This FV 4005 takes so much damage trying to go after the Leo PTA. And I'm just going to fast forward now at this point so you guys can see the outcome. He ends up cleaning up the Leo PTA, and then he has a fight with the Karn, right? He only has to hit the Karn once. That's the way the FV works, man. It's an absolute beast. I mean, the accuracy is really bad, but if you hit someone once, as long as it pens, like, you're good to go, man. You can hit them for, what is it, like 1700 damage. So Karn is here, or Effie is here. He's poking on this bush, trying to stay unlit from the Karn. And watch this shot. He hits the Karn. It doesn't pen, right? Now the FV4005 has a 40-second reload. He's going to be in trouble, right? The Karn is kind of slow, so he can manage, but it's a really long reload on the 4005. So I put a little sad face, and you know, this Karn is not a great player, but he's kind of luring the Karn in, trying to reload in time, right? And he ends up being able to reload, and then he hits the guy's track. Like 18 seconds left, guys. He hits the guy's track, 2 shots that potentially could have gone in, and I just said, bruh, like, you have to be kidding me, man. And we ended up losing this game, guys. So a lot of going back and forth. I'm trying to kind of explain it to you guys in a way that makes sense, but there was so much going on in this game that I feel like with the commentary, it's hard to focus on one thing. I'm talking about this, I'm talking about that. But I hope you guys can kind of understand why I did what I did in this match, and you can learn from it. There's a lot of mistakes that I made in this game. I think the last one that I made that was the most important was throwing away all my HP to the Leo PTA, Ptah, as Skill would say, and this other vehicle here, the Sta 1. We ended up being able to make the Leo a one-shot for myself, and we also cleaned up the Sta 1, but at the end of the day, the FV4005 still needs to get the shot into the Leo first, and then the shot into the Karn. He missed 2 into the Karn, and it's just RNG, man. The FV4005 is not super accurate. The FV4005 has the exact same W&8 as me. He's a really good player. I think it's just kind of a luck of the draw type thing where he had an unlucky shot twice, and it can happen in the FV4005. The FV4005 has some of the most trollish accuracy ever. But anyway, guys, in closing, I hope you have learned from this this replay. Hope you can learn from my mistakes. Hope it helps you on Redshire. And let's take a quick look at the end plates, and then I'll let you guys go. So this was a second class game for me. I ended up doing 1500 damage, 1300 spotting. Not bad overall, like almost 3k combined, right? It's not awful, but I would love to have won this game. Karn played a really, really good game. We were in the middle here by damage, up sort of on the top by experience. And what's that badge? We did get this badge. I think it's like eliminate 2 tank destroyers or heavies or whatever. I don't know. It was like one of those 2 specialty tanks you're eliminating, other than like a light tank and a RD or whatever. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not much more to, in my opinion, there's not much more to really talk about in this game. I think I've said everything I wanted to say. Here's the detailed report, guys. We made 13k. I'm not running premium. I'm working on this new battle pass now that came out, so we'll see how the rewards are for that. And yeah, I do run the low noise exhaust, the bounty low noise exhaust on this thing, guys. So I have like, I want to say it's like 43% concealment. So that's why I'm very comfortable in making active passes, such as when I spotted the Foch, right? And you'd be amazed how good the concealment can be on the Hawk 30, because the Hawk 30 is a really fat, big tank. You think the concealment wouldn't be that great, but it actually, if you kind of stack out your concealment here, and I have to change this. I'd like to run Brothers in Arms, I think, now that I got my 4th perk on these, because I did select them, but I'll probably reset it. But yeah, the concealment's actually very good. I love the Hawk 30, man. Like, the concealment's really good, guys. The damage is really good. Like, the accuracy is actually pretty good too. So if you're looking for a premium tank, especially a light premium tank, the Hawk 30 is really, it might be my new favorite tank, to be honest with you guys. But that's it. I hope you learned from this, guys. Again, I know the quality of my videos is not phenomenal, right? Because I've had a few comments. My videos have gotten quite a number of views. I think people really like the map strategy videos that I'm putting out, and I've gotten a few comments of people saying like the mic doesn't sound great, and that my speech isn't that great. Like, look, guys, if that bothers you, respectfully, you'd probably be better off watching somebody else. I would love for you guys to watch my content, but I'm not using super high-tech, advanced, expensive equipment. This is a $30 headset, and I also am not a speech expert. I didn't go to school for communications and speech and all that. Like, I have a criminal justice degree. I'm just doing this as kind of a thing on the side. I'm not even monetized. I don't get paid for this stuff. It's really just to help you guys out and a hobby of my own. So if you don't like the content, you think it's a little subpar, can I say, you're better off watching somebody else like Skill for LTU. There's other people also like Klaus Kellerman. You can watch him that actually take a lot more time and edit their stuff. Kaizu, I would recommend you watch these people that have really good content and they have like hundreds of dollars spent on their mics and their equipment, thousands, I would actually say. Um, and they edit their videos and they kind of have a script they follow or whatever. So if it bothers you the way I present my content, I would probably just go watch one of them. Other than that, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this one. Do subscribe if you enjoy the content. Like, and comment and all that. It really helps me out. And I will see you guys for the next one. Take care and bye-bye.